Hi, my name is Cristin Wright, and I'm a graduate student at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science. At VIMS, I study sediment bed erodibility, or looking at how easily the sediment, like sand and mud, get picked up off the bottom of the estuary and moved along the estuary. I've taken a little bit of my research here at VIMS and created this lesson plan titled High to Low, Exploring Estuarine Gradients. In this lesson plan, students will explore different estuarine gradients like suspended sediment concentration, nutrient concentration, and phytoplankton concentration. They will collect data from samples in a virtual estuary and see how suspended sediments and nutrients drive the growth of phytoplankton. Students will explore these gradients by going on a virtual sampling cruise in the Clark Estuary. There will be 8 different sampling locations, starting from the head of the estuary on the left to the mouth of the estuary on the right. And students will click on each of the different sampling sites and record data for suspended sediment concentration by matching the color of the water to the color bar, and nutrient concentration by counting up the nutrient icons within the sample, as well as counting the icons for phytoplankton to determine phytoplankton concentration. They will click their way along the estuary to record data for all 8 of the sites. The students will fill out this table with the data they collect at each of the different site numbers and then plot suspended sediment concentration, nutrient concentration, and phytoplankton concentration. They will then practice plotting multiple components on one plot. So I provide the background plot with each of the y-axis labels, and then they will have to fill in the lines for nutrient concentration, suspended sediment concentration, and phytoplankton concentration. So the big take-home message here is that there tends to be kind of a sweet spot for phytoplankton concentration in the mid-estuary, and this is because of high suspended sediment concentrations in the head of the estuary limit the amount of sunlight in the water, so phytoplankton have a hard time growing in high concentrations, whereas at the mouth of the estuary there tends to be lower nutrients, and so that also prohibits the phytoplankton from thriving. The last part of my lesson plan is optional for teachers, but I wanted to include it because I think it's important to expose students to computer programming at an earlier age. I wasn't aware of any type of coding language until I was in college, and I really wish that I had been exposed to that earlier. So that was kind of my motivation behind adding this part. So students will visit an online website where they can write 3 to 4 lines of code to actually plot the same plots they plotted by hand in the lesson plan. And again, I just think this is an important add-on for students to be exposed to some type of coding language early on.